Hey there boys and girls, Flecky here, and today we have another episode of How to Recon. I think it's episode 7 if I'm right. And if you haven't seen any of the other episodes, just check my channel if you want to see them. It's basically a new series I started, and I'm just like revamping and updating the old tutorials for the Recon class I did back in the days, because the game has changed quite a lot, so I thought that updating them might be a good idea. Okay, let's get right into this. So today we will be checking out the attachments for the bolt-action sniper rifles, and I won't go over all the sites there are because there are quite a lot. I'm just giving a general idea about them. So let's start out with your normal 8x scope or the 7x zoom scope, which you get depending on if you're playing on the Russian or on the US side. And those are both pretty standard. For me personally, the 8x is probably the best all-around like scope, because you can get long-range targets but perform also well within close range as soon as you're getting used to it. The 7x is interesting, but the chevron like indicators for the ranges are a little off sometimes, and they also look kind of like poorly animated, so I normally try to stay away from those. Even though you can perform really well with them, I still would suggest you going with the 8x, especially since you get a wider circle, so you won't have blocked as much of your peripheral view. And yeah, for the other scopes there's of course the Cobra and Red Dot side. Then, well, it's basically the 130%, the 340% and the 400% scopes, and they just offer you different magnifications, but only for a certain amount of your screen. For example, I think Red Dot and Cobra are the smallest, and then they progress and getting bigger, like the PKA, and then also the ACOG is the biggest before you progress to the really big ones like the 7x and the 8x. So you should definitely just kind of try them out and look which one suits you best. Of course, the low zoom scopes are more efficient in close range, but you will definitely be struggling if you're getting shots within 300 meters or so. Those are definitely going to be a lot harder than they are with high power zoom scopes. Then of course we have the 12x zoom scope, which is definitely the go-to for long range sniping, and yeah, I think there's not much to say about them besides the fact that the 7, 8 and 12x zoom scope have a ridiculous scope glint. It's like having a giant flashlight at the end of your barrel. Especially the 12x, you can see it all across the map. That's just the thing. Another attachment of course would be the flashlight, but that's pretty much not necessary because you have the scope glint. And yeah, normally never used it. Some say that it's quite interesting to use for the aggressive recon playstyle because you can blind your enemies, but I would say stay away from it. Another important or really interesting gadget we have would be the Bipod, which reduces the scope sway if you have put it down somewhere. So it's definitely really nice for long range sniping too, even though many long range snipers I know, they normally prefer to use the straight pull bolt because it lets you do the rapid follow-up shots without leaving your scope. This would be the downside to the Bipod, and the pro side to the straight pull bolt. Of course the straight pull bolt won't take care of the scope sway. Then we also have the sound suppressor, which basically puts you off the minimap, and in exchange for that it just puts you off the minimap. Personally, I would not recommend the suppressor too much for the sniper rifles, because the sniper rifles already have a quite low velocity of 500 to 600, and well, just around those numbers. And a suppressor decreases it even more to 350 and I think 380 for the M98B, which is the exception. But it gives you an extremely ridiculous bullet drop. So, and if you're a medium or long range sniper, you won't show up on the minimap anyways because you're keeping a distance between them. So for me, that it makes really no sense to use them. Another really fun gadget or fun attachment, which is pretty okay now. It had a it was pretty OP, then got nerfed and buffed again. I'm of course talking about the infrared night vision. Not my favorite because the zoom is only 100% and it blocks a lot of your peripheral view. So it's nice to mess around maybe on metro and some stuff, like where you have like darker areas and so on. Might be interesting to use, but like I said, not my favorite. And something you can see me using right here in the video, of course, would be the laser sight. And even though many people hate like snipers with laser sights, I think it's one of the most useful attachments for the bolt action sniper rifles and even for the semi-autos, because it just gives you the hip spread. You can also blend enemies, which isn't as useful, but a nice like little side thing. Right here, getting the spawn raper, and yeah, a nice little side thing to have to be able to blend enemies, but that's not the main thing, because since the suppression, you really have to rely on hip fire and on body shots, because you can your pride and glory for only getting headshots is kind of gone, because it's really all about like just getting the shot off now, since the suppression has become so strong. So a laser sight will definitely help you get like 2 quick shots, get your first shot off, switch to secondary, and then like kill your enemy. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all for now for this episode of How to Recon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's go flicker out.